Hello everyone! And yes, if it wasn't blindingly obvious from this genius intro, I'm back in Melbourne.
Celtic,
Yep, not quite sure what day it is at the moment or if Celtic have signed any players. Only joking, that second one's very obvious, and the answer in July the 10th is still no. We're back tonight, at least that's a positive. Back again, obviously we played on Friday night against Ayr United, hoping to see a little bit more of a recognisable team tonight against Queen's Park. Queen's Park, the oldest team in Scotland, I found out today, and also the 10th oldest in the entire world. Not including Rangers, of course. They've been going for years, everyone. Remember that. But yeah, I was there on Friday as we saw a number of unfamiliar and unfancied names draw 1-1 with Ayr United. And it was a match that kind of had me questioning my entire life, and especially why I'd paid £20 to watch that. I tell you something, I definitely will not be back seeing Celtic this season. That was enough for me on Friday. Ayr's new stand is nice enough, I guess, even if they do have to improve their setup for away supporters. Surely isn't too safe having people climbing walls in 2024. As I say, I didn't think there was a great deal to take away from the match. I'm kind of joking a little bit there with all the stuff about the match, apart from me not going to another game this season, but I guess you know why that is. There were a couple of kind of positive things to look at. I thought Nicholas Kuhn looked quite lively in that first half that he played. I don't think from memory did anything spectacular. Kind of hard to see from where I was, but I just thought he was involved in the game a fair bit, and to me looked like he really wanted to impress. So I guess that's a positive. It's a big pre-season for him. It's a big season overall from him. I think we need to see far more from Nicholas Kuhn this campaign, apart from maybe a 3 or 4 game stretch last season when I thought he did actually look pretty good. He's not really delivered yet. He's not alone in that, but I think it's a big pre-season for him. Hopefully see more of him tonight against Queen's Park. The big kind of positive, I think, that a number of people have spotted from the game, and with good reason, is Bosun Lawal and the performance that he put in. He came on at half-time. Very notably, I think he came on in midfield at half-time. There was an opportunity for him to come on at centre-back earlier in the game when, shock horror, Mike Naropski picked up an injury. To sum up how early that injury was, I was still making my way to my spot to watch the game when Mike Naropski hobbled off the park. So not a great start to pre-season for him. Shock horror as well, Gustav Lagerbielke. Apparently he's picked up a knock, so that's not ideal either for either of those guys. But Celtic had an opportunity to bring on Lawal at centre-back when Naropski went off. And Lawal had previously been viewed, I think, by everyone as a centre-back until he went on loan to Fleetwood Town last season. Did very well, and did very well in midfield as well. So Rodgers opted to bring on Lenny Agbear at centre-back, who probably didn't have the best of times, but as we say, it was one game. He brought Lawal on second half in midfield, and I think we were all pretty impressed with what we saw. I don't want to go overboard with it being a friendly against lower league opposition, but it was like prime Busquets out there, honestly. He was picking the ball up, he was holding players off, he was pacey, he was running past guys, he was starting off attacks. It looked very, very promising. And as I say, I want to see more from him in pre-season, and certainly want to see him against like a higher level of opposition. I think our pre-season's quite notable in that. We start with a couple of Scottish teams who, in the grand scheme of things, aren't bad Scottish teams, championship opposition, teams looking to get up to the top flight, Ayr United, Queen's Park tonight. We then move on to MLS opposition in the shape of DC United, and then we play elite English Premier League opposition, the real top of the English Premier League in Manchester City. And then we've got Chelsea after that as well. Boom, boom. Fabulous. Where was I? Bosun Lawal, I want to see him in all of these games because, as I say, it's very early. I just get the impression he might have something to offer us this season, just based off the way he came in and how much he seems to have kind of come on over the last year since we last saw him. The fact he's in a new position and how eager he looked to impress. And he's big, he's quick. I liked what I saw, but that's all I'm going to say for now. There were a few outings for the likes of Kyle, Bonner, Donovan, Hatton. I was half expecting to see Stevie come on at one stage. Met him for a pint on Saturday, by the way. Good to catch up with Stevie. He'll be back on the channel very soon. I'd be lying if I'd heard of Kyle, Bonner, Donovan or Hatton, but I think a couple of them showed some nice moments. Kyle had some good touches in the first half. Left winger, I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly what one that was. I want to maybe say Hatton. He kind of looked pacey as well. Mitchell Frame, who we're a bit more familiar with, he's played one competitive match, so we know him much more. He came on as well. It was a fringe team, and the game finished 1-1. We move forward tonight to Queen's Park. They're managed by Callum Davidson now, and just kind of hoping to see improvement, I guess. I mean, the first game, all joking aside, was always going to be like that disjointed performance for a number of reasons. Just hoping tonight, I think, to see a few more familiar faces and names and just see a bit more control from Celtic. Hopefully, get the ball passed around, something we didn't really do on Friday at all. Score some goals as well. I think it's going to be a little bit different. There's so many Celtic fans at Somerset Park on Friday. It's not going to be the case tonight. I believe it's limited entirely or almost entirely to home supporters at the City Stadium, which I believe is Lesser Hampden. The game is on Celtic TV though, if you're hoping to be able to catch it. It's on at around the same time as the Netherlands versus England in the Euros semi-final. So top Celtic points to any of you who watch Celtic over that match. I'll certainly be doing that. We could see the likes of Rio Hatate tonight. He looked incredibly cold in some footage posted by the club from Lennoxtown training on Tuesday. There was also a happy Matt O'Reilly. He could be someone we see tonight as well. I think Dies Maida, one of the other guys. So hoping to see some of them play tonight and just a little bit more purpose in our play. Of course, we'll touch on the game on tomorrow's video. I'm going to be watching. I've not quite decided what I'm going to do, given that the result isn't massively important. I might watch England-Netherlands live and then right after it catch Queen's Park v Celtic and properly take it in. I feel like if I have them on both at the same time, I won't really be paying attention to either. I'm sure you care a lot about my plans for later. But anyway, we'll definitely, I'll have seen the game by tomorrow's video and we'll look at some kind of key findings from it. If you clicked on this video hoping for some sort of big transfer development, then I don't know, maybe try again tomorrow because this isn't the one. Just to summarise though, where I think we appear to be. Now, Adam Ida wants to join us, we want to sign him, and it just seems like people are generally positive about the chances of this one happening. I'm not saying it's a nailed on certainty. I'm not saying I've purchased any Adam Ida mugs yet. You should probably be glad I haven't done that, given my track record in that regard. But it seems like people are expecting this one to be done. My big kind of worry with this is that it drags on for another few weeks, drags on all summer. I just think if the player wants it to happen, we want it to happen, just agree a fee with Norwich. Even if we have to pay a little bit more, just get them in. I think we found out last season to our cost with several players, like when players don't have a full pre-season in them, it can be difficult for them to make a fast start to the season. And I think we really want to make a fast start to the season this year for a number of reasons. I think with what's going on elsewhere, the way the fixtures are falling as well, I think if we start the season really strongly, we could be in a really, really good position early on in the campaign. And obviously we've got a number of Champions League games coming up as well. We want to be hitting our stride at that stage, like we did a couple of years ago. in Postecoglou's second season, even though we didn't necessarily do too well in the Champions League. But yeah, that's Adam Ida. I'm hoping this will be done like in the next 10 days. Maybe that's unrealistic. Just get him in. The promising thing is that he wants to come in and Celtic want to sign him, so a deal should be done there. Same goes for Paulo Bernardo. There was a Portuguese report yesterday that suggested we were willing to pay a fee of around €5 million for him, with a deal said to be close. The report also mentioned that Benfica would likely hold some sort of future sell-on clause, similar to what they had with Jota. I think they ended up doing quite well out of the Jota sale to Saudi Arabia, like we obviously did. And it seems like something similar will be in place for Paulo Bernardo. That's gone relatively quiet over the past couple of weeks after some chat early in the summer. Again, that's one I would hope the club to be doing. I know people maybe have a few doubts about Paulo Bernardo. I think he showed enough in the big moments last season to suggest that as a permanent Celtic player and a year down the road, he could be quite a big player for us this season. So hopefully that one's sorted. The goalkeeper situation, the name I'm hearing more and more is Sparta Prague's Peter Vindal Jensen. The latest report there, probably a day or so ago, was that he could cost us around £8 million. He said to see a move to Celtic as a step up in his career as he eventually tries to get to the English Premier League. I've not got a massive issue with that, to be honest. I think we've got to be realistic that unless you're someone like Callum McGregor, you probably are coming to Celtic with a view to eventually get into a better league, and the best league in the world is the English Premier League. We've seen that so often with players and managers over the past decade or so. So I've not got a massive issue if that's his kind of end goal. To get to the English Premier League, he'll have to do incredibly well at Celtic, and that's obviously a good thing if that does happen. So he seems keen to make the move. The big issue, just one wee issue we have here, is that Sparta Prague apparently don't actually want to sell him at the moment. Yeah, welcome to Celtic transfer windows. I just sense this goalkeeper stuff is going to drag on, and it really is quite frustrating. And people are getting very frustrated. You go on like any Celtic Twitter post at the moment, and the comments are all just sign a goalkeeper, sign a goalkeeper, sign a goalkeeper. Yeah, we've had so long to sort this, and I think for a lot of people, if we go to the States, United States, without a new goalkeeper on that plane, it's going to be quite difficult for people to fathom that, I guess. And it's looking more and more likely. The positive news is that Peter Vindal Jensen seems to be our top target. That appears to have been the case all summer. And that's what I'm hearing more and more about. So we may not be a million miles away from this transfer being concluded. Let's hope for everyone's sake that that is the case. No news in terms of our left-back, centre-back, midfielder, winger, etc. It's all just a little bit frustrating, isn't it? The window's been open like a month now and we've not signed anyone. Knowing all the work that needs done, I think people are already coming to the realisation that we're probably not going to get in everything we want, and I just find that all very frustrating because it's very obvious what we want. But, things can change relatively quickly. So let's just hold on to that nugget of positivity. Finally, and you may not have caught this because you've been sleeping, Alistair Johnson's Canada were knocked out of Copa America. Overnight, they lost 2-0 to Argentina. Lionel Messi, shock horror scoring. Julian Alvarez as well. His work isn't done yet, though, as he posted on Instagram. Johnson and Canada will go again on Saturday in the 3rd, 4th place playoff. That'll be against either Uruguay or Colombia. And at this stage, he'd probably be as well just waiting for the rest of his teammates in the States, United States, because it's really not long until we're out there. CCV, I guess, will be back at Lennoxtown next week, maybe, something like that. So that's where we're at the moment. Lovely to be back into the morning swing with these videos, and enjoy the game tonight, whatever game you're watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.